Picture this. You're home on a Saturday morning, drinking coffee in your pajamas, thinking about what to make for breakfast. Then your doorbell rings. You open it, and there's a woman you've never seen before. She's young, maybe 25. Pretty. And very, very pregnant. She looks at you with tears in her eyes and says 5 words that destroy your entire world. I'm carrying your husband's baby. My name is Jennifer. I'm 38 years old. And 4 months ago, this exact scenario happened to me. But here's the twist. The pregnant mistress at my door? She wasn't the only one. She wasn't even the worst one. My husband, Marcus, wasn't just a cheater. He was a serial cheater. A professional liar. A man who'd been living multiple lives with multiple women for years. And when his mistress showed up at my door, she thought she was delivering devastating news. What she didn't know was that she was about to get devastated herself. This is the story of how one pregnant mistress, 5 other girlfriends, and a furious wife formed the most unexpected alliance. And how we all made sure Marcus lost everything. Buckle up. This story is wild. Let me tell you about Marcus. On paper, he was perfect. Successful businessman, owned a marketing consulting firm, made great money. Handsome, charming, attentive. The kind of husband other women envied me for having. We'd been married for 12 years. We met when I was 26, and he was 28. It was a whirlwind romance. He swept me off my feet with grand gestures, expensive dates, and promises of an amazing life together. And for a while, it was amazing. We traveled. We laughed. We built a beautiful home. I worked as a graphic designer from home, which gave me flexibility. Marcus traveled constantly for work. Or so he said. Looking back now, the signs were everywhere. But when you love someone, when you trust someone, you don't see what you don't want to see. The late-night phone calls that he'd take in another room. Business, he'd say. On the weekends, he'd disappear for conferences. Networking, he'd explain. The credit card bills with charges from cities I'd never heard him mention. Client meetings, obviously. I believed everything. Because I had no reason to. We didn't have kids. We'd tried for years, but it never happened. The doctors said there was no medical reason. It just wasn't happening. We'd talked about adoption, but Marcus always said, let's wait a little longer. We have time. Now I know why he kept delaying. He was too busy creating families with other women. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I thought it was solid. We had our routines. Our inside jokes. Our plans for the future. I thought I knew my husband. I didn't know him at all. It was a Saturday morning in late October. I was in my pajamas, coffee in hand, scrolling through social media. The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door, and there she was. Young. Maybe mid-20s. Long dark hair, designer sunglasses, and a very visible baby bump. 7 months pregnant, at least. She took off her sunglasses and looked at me with this mixture of sadness and defiance. Are you Jennifer? She asked. Yes, who are you? Her voice shook. My name is Amber. I'm Marcus's girlfriend. And I'm pregnant with his baby. I actually laughed. Not because it was funny. But because my brain couldn't process what she was saying. This had to be a mistake. A prank. Something. Excuse me? I said. My husband Marcus? She nodded. I know this is a shock. But he told me he was going to tell you. He told me you two were getting divorced. That he was going to be with our baby and me. My legs felt weak. I leaned against the doorframe. You need to come inside. We sat in my living room. My living room. Where Marcus and I had spent thousands of evenings together. And this stranger, this pregnant stranger, was telling me that my husband had been with her for 18 months. 18 months. She showed me photos on her phone. She and Marcus are at restaurants. On vacation. At her apartment. Him with his hand on her belly, smiling like an excited father-to-be. My husband. My Marcus. With her. I felt like I was going to throw up. How did you meet? I managed to ask. At a coffee shop near my office. He said he was recently divorced. That he traveled a lot for work. We started dating, and everything was perfect. Then I got pregnant 3 months ago. She started crying. He was so excited. He said we'd get married, buy a house, and start our life together. But then he started avoiding me. Making excuses. And yesterday, I found out something that made me question everything. What? I asked. She pulled out her phone again. I found messages on his tablet. He left it at my apartment. Messages from other women. Lots of other women. She showed me the messages. My vision blurred as I read them. Flirty texts. Romantic messages. Explicit photos. From different phone numbers. Different names. Marcus wasn't just cheating on me with her. He was cheating on both of us with multiple other women. How many? I whispered. Amber scrolled through the messages. From what I can tell, at least 5 other women. Maybe more. I sat there, stunned. My husband was a stranger. A stranger. Then something shifted inside me. The shock turned to anger. The anger turned to ice-cold determination. I looked at Amber. Do you have copies of all those messages? She nodded. I took screenshots of everything. Good. I said. Because we're going to need them. Amber and I spent the next 4 hours going through everything. It was surreal. Here I was, sitting with my husband's pregnant mistress, working together like we were partners in a detective agency. We made a list of every woman we could identify from the messages. 5 names. 5 phone numbers. I had an idea. What if we contact them? What if we tell them the truth? Amber looked nervous. What if they don't believe us? Then we show them proof. I said. We have photos. Messages. Evidence. We tell them everything. So that's what we did. The first woman was named Stephanie. According to the messages, Marcus had been seeing her for 2 years. 2 years. Longer than Amber. I called her. She answered on the second ring. Hello? Hi, is this Stephanie? My name is Jennifer. I'm Marcus Thompson's wife. Silence. Then, his what? His wife. We've been married for 12 years. More silence. Then she said something that shocked me. Are you the woman he told me about? The ex-wife who was stalking him? My blood ran cold. He told you I was his ex-wife? That I was stalking him? Yes. He said you couldn't accept that he'd moved on. Amber grabbed the phone from me. Hi Stephanie, this is Amber. I'm Marcus's girlfriend. I'm 7 months pregnant with his baby. And Jennifer is definitely not his ex-wife. She's his current wife. And Marcus has been lying to all of us. We sent Stephanie photos. Proof of our marriage certificate. Photos of Marcus and me at our wedding. Recent photos from our home. Stephanie started crying on the phone. Oh my God. Oh my God. I had no idea. He told me he was single. That he'd never been married. How long have you been seeing him? I asked gently. 2 years. I thought we were building a life together. We contacted the other women one by one. Woman number 2, Lisa. 6 months. Marcus told her he was a widower whose wife had died of cancer. Woman number 3, Rachel. 1 year. He told her he was divorced with no kids, traveling for his tech startup. Woman number 4, Nicole. 8 months. He said he was separated and waiting for his divorce to be finalized. Woman number 5, Danielle. 4 months. He told her he was single and ready to settle down. Every single one of them thought they were in an exclusive relationship. Every single one had been lied to. By the end of the day, we had a group chat. 6 women. All victims of the same man. One of the women, Rachel, was a lawyer. She said, "This isn't just cheating. This is fraud. If he made financial promises to any of you, if he took money, if he used deception to get anything from you, there could be legal consequences." That's when we started comparing notes on the financial side. And what we discovered was even more shocking. Marcus hadn't just been lying about relationships. He'd been running financial scams on all of us. Amber had given him $15,000 for a supposed down payment on a house for them and the baby. The house didn't exist. Stephanie had invested $25,000 in his business expansion that he said needed capital. There was no expansion. Nicole had loaned him $8,000 for a family emergency. His mother's surgery, he'd said. His mother was perfectly healthy and lived in another state. Lisa had co-signed a car loan for him. $30,000. For a car, he said, it was for business. The car was in his name only, and she was stuck with the payments. Rachel hadn't given him money, but he'd been living rent-free in her apartment for months, claiming his house was being renovated. I even discovered things I hadn't known. He'd taken out a second mortgage on our house without telling me. $60,000. Gone. We calculated the total. Marcus had scammed us out of over $170,000 combined. This wasn't just infidelity. This was theft. Fraud. Criminal behavior. Rachel, the lawyer, took charge. We have enough evidence to bury him. Legally, financially, socially. The question is, how far do you all want to take this? We all looked at each other. 6 women who'd been betrayed, humiliated, and stolen from by the same man. Amber spoke first, her hand on her pregnant belly. "I want him to lose everything. Everything." We all agreed. Rachel laid out our strategy. Phase 1. Document everything. Every lie, every financial transaction, every promise he made that he didn't keep. We created a comprehensive dossier with photos, bank statements, text messages, and emails. Everything. Phase 2. Legal action. I would file for divorce immediately, citing adultery and financial fraud. Rachel would help me file a police report for the forged signature on the second mortgage. Amber would establish paternity and file for child support. Lisa would sue for fraud regarding the car loan. Stephanie would pursue criminal charges for the stolen investment money. Phase 3. Social exposure. Marcus's business relied on his reputation. He networked with wealthy clients who valued family and integrity. We would make sure everyone in his professional circle knew exactly who Marcus really was. Phase 4. Financial devastation. We would freeze all joint accounts. File liens on his business. Make it impossible for him to access money or credit. We spent 2 weeks preparing. Marcus had no idea what was coming. He thought he was still in control. Still managing his web of lies. He was wrong. We set a date. November 15th. The day everything would come crashing down on him. That morning, I acted normally. I made Marcus breakfast. Kissed him goodbye when he left for work. Then I made a phone call. At 10 a.m., Marcus was served with divorce papers at his office. In front of his employees and 2 major clients who happened to be there for a meeting. At 10:30 a.m., the police showed up at his office to question him about the forged mortgage documents. They didn't arrest him, but they made it clear that an investigation was underway. At 11 a.m., Amber, accompanied by Rachel, showed up at his office with paternity paperwork and a child support demand. In the lobby. Where everyone could see. At noon, Stephanie filed her police report for fraud. The detective assigned to the case called Marcus's office to request that he come in for questioning. At 1 p.m., Lisa's lawsuit for fraud regarding the car loan was filed. Court documents are public record. Anyone could search and find them. At 2 p.m., Rachel sent an email to Marcus's professional network. Not all of them. Just a carefully selected group of his biggest clients and business associates. The email was professional but devastating. It outlined, with evidence, a pattern of deceptive behavior that raised questions about his business ethics and trustworthiness. 3 clients pulled their contracts within hours. At 3 p.m., I changed the locks on our house. I'd already moved his belongings into a storage unit. He was no longer welcome in our home. By 5 p.m., Marcus's life was in shambles. He called me 17 times. I didn't answer. He texted me over 40 messages. Begging. Threatening. Apologizing. Blaming. I didn't respond. Finally, at 6 p.m., I sent him one text message. You built your life on lies. Now you get to watch it all fall apart. We all know everything. All of us. And we're done being your victims. Don't contact me again. Speak to my lawyer. His response came immediately. Jennifer, please. I can explain everything. I love you. I made mistakes, but we can fix this. Please. I blocked his number. That night, all 6 of us met at Rachel's apartment. We opened a bottle of wine. Well, 5 of us did. Amber had sparkling cider. We toasted. To the truth. To justice. To never let a man make us feel small again. Stephanie said, I can't believe we all came together like this. Women supporting women, even in the worst circumstances. Amber laughed, though tears streamed down her face. I came to your door to destroy your life. And instead, you helped me see the truth. You all did. Thank you. I raised my glass. We're survivors. All of us. And we're stronger together than he ever was alone. The legal consequences for Marcus were severe. The divorce was finalized in 4 months. I got the house, half of his business assets, and a significant settlement for the emotional distress and financial fraud. Amber had her baby. A beautiful little girl. Marcus is legally obligated to pay child support, but he fought the paternity test until the court ordered it. The test confirmed he's the father. Now he pays but has no custody rights because Amber successfully argued he's an unfit parent due to his pattern of deception and fraud. Stephanie got her $25,000 back, plus damages. Marcus had to liquidate assets to pay her. Lisa was released from the car loan obligation after proving fraud. Marcus now has a repossessed car and a destroyed credit score. Nicole got her $8,000 back through small claims court. Rachel didn't pursue financial compensation, but she did make sure the professional damage was permanent. Marcus's business lost 70% of its clients. He had to close his firm and declare bankruptcy. The criminal investigation into the forged mortgage is still ongoing. His lawyer is negotiating a plea deal, but he'll likely face probation and restitution. As for the other women, we stayed in touch. We formed an unlikely support group. We check in on each other, celebrate wins, support each other through hard days. Amber and I have become genuine friends. I was there when she had her baby. I'm Aunt Jennifer now. That little girl will grow up knowing her mom is strong, resilient, and surrounded by women who lift each other. Last month, Amber said something that made me cry. She said, "You could have slammed the door in my face that day. You could have blamed me. But instead, you saved me. You saved all of us." I told her the truth. We saved each other. Marcus tried to reach out a few months ago. An email from a new address. He said he was sorry. That he was in therapy. That he wanted to make amends. I didn't respond. Some people don't deserve your forgiveness. Some people don't deserve access to your life anymore. I'm rebuilding now. My design business is thriving. I'm dating someone new, someone honest and kind. Someone who makes me laugh and never makes me question my worth. I'm happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. Marcus, last I heard, is working a regular job, living in a small apartment, paying off debts that will take him years to clear. He destroyed his own life. We just made sure he couldn't take ours down with him. So what did I learn from this nightmare? First, trust your instincts. If something feels off, investigate. Don't ignore red flags because you want to believe the best in someone. Second, women are not each other's enemies. The woman at your door might be a victim too. Compassion and solidarity are more powerful than jealousy and blame. Third, document everything. Evidence saved us. Without proof, he could have lied his way out of everything. Fourth, you are not defined by someone else's betrayal. Marcus's lies were about him, not about me. Not about any of us. And fifth, the best revenge is rebuilding your life into something beautiful. Something true. Something he can never touch again. Today, I look at that day Amber showed up at my door differently. It wasn't the day my marriage ended. It was the day my real life began. The day I stopped being lied to. The day I took my power back. The day I met 5 other incredible women who became my sisters in survival. If someone in your life is lying to you, deceiving you, using you, remember this. You deserve the truth. You deserve respect. You deserve so much better. And when you find out the truth, no matter how painful it is, you have a choice. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it free you. I chose freedom. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the woman you think is your enemy is actually your greatest ally. Stay strong. Stay smart. And never let anyone steal your worth.